of a lawsuit against the National Cooperative Credit Union. The institution has continued to act in a discriminatory, high-handed, vindictive, malicious, unlawful, and adverse manner regarding my legitimate business transactions at that institution. The actions by the NCCU undeniably disregard a warning from the High Court judge in the matter that I mentioned above, that the NCCU should not deal with or take any adverse actions or decisions in my legitimate and constitutional lawful rights to carry out my financial transactions at the institution. Since then, the National Cooperative Credit Union arbitrarily aggregated the deposits, earnings from my business over a 4-week period, and when they came to just over $10,000, they demanded a source of funds declaration, alleging that I had deposited in excess of the 10,000 threshold, but failing to appreciate that these were legitimate proceeds from my business, and further refuse to guide themselves by the fact that the $10,000 was over several weeks and not a single deposit. On September 16, 2020, the National Cooperative Credit Union refused to accept my written authorization from a member of my staff to deliver a transaction history and checkbooks relating to my personal account held with the institution. Let me emphasize the point that the rejection of my authorized letter and refusal by the NCCU to deliver such material, checkbooks, and transaction history resulted in loss, damages, and injury to my business reputation, particularly as I had been rendered incapable of either auditing my account or issuing checks by virtue of its conduct. This is conclusive evidence of subversion of my legitimate right to conduct my personal business at the institution, a matter which I definitely will seek to address in the High Court of Justice. Let me state that Dominica is a country of laws and we must be guided accordingly. Most recently, on November 7th, 2023, the NCCU demonstrated continued vicious, malicious, discriminatory, and harassment by delaying my presence at the institution for over 3.5 hours following my legitimate transaction and having declared my source of funds relating to a deposit made towards my business account. These continued adverse, unlawful, discriminatory, whimsical, and vindictive actions by the NCCU can only be classified as the highest degree of harassment, intimidation, and attempt to deny me my constitutional rights. The NCCU, I must say, has succeeded in damaging my reputation by their constant portrayal of myself to members of doing business at the institution by making me, in the view of those present, a person of suspicion as it relates to my financial transactions at the institution. Having made calls to my legal representatives and to the office of the FIU, I remain determined and resolute in conducting my legitimate deposits to my accounts based on the required legal framework. The NCCU was and is yet to present to me any area of suspicion regarding my declaration of source of funds. Therefore, it only stands to reason that their conduct is to harm and do damage to my reputation and denial of my constitutional rights. I therefore have requested my legal personnel to file additional suits against the NCCU for their unrelenting behavior towards me and my business.